Right, let's bring you this developing story now. The 11 South African men that were trapped in the Russia-Ukraine border during the war are expected to land at King Shaka International Airport in Durban. 4 of the men returned home a week ago, whilst 2 of them remain in Russia. One, we understand, is hospitalised in Moscow, while the other awaits travel arrangements. Their international flight is expected to land this afternoon to early evening. Well, let's get the exact details now. Newzroom Afrika's Phila Mthembu is at King Shaka International Airport. Phila, good afternoon to you. This has to be a moment of relief for the families of these men. Tell us, what time exactly is this flight expected, and do we know from where exactly did it take off? Was it Russia or Ukraine?
All right, Oli, a very good evening to you. We are coming to you live just at the King Shaka International Airport. And what you're seeing behind me, well, there isn't much activity, but we are at the international flight, exit. So through those doors behind me is exactly where you can expect to see those 11 men actually come out of, and officially breathing, the air of Durban here at the airport. What I can also tell you is that the flight is expected to land at about 5:15 this afternoon. The last time we were actually informed about it, we understand that it was in Dubai. So now when you calculate really the distance of a flight time between Dubai as well as, South Africa here in Durban, it would be about 9 hours, Oli. What I can also tell you is that the families, unfortunately, we have not spotted much of them here, but we do know that they were informed about, their loved ones actually landing here at this very same airport. And it also brings us, to the conversations that President Cyril Ramaphosa had with the Russian government, after making that call and really asking that this particular repatriation process is actually done successfully, so that these men are actually reunited with their loved ones. We did hear from the president thanking the Russian government as far as that is concerned, and also just to see this particular process being on the move. So when they arrive here, there are quite a lot of questions now. You're probably wondering where to from here. There are going to be authorities, of course, that are going to be receiving them, and then from there, what is going to happen? The processing of it all, are they going to then be processed back into the country, and how are they going to be processed? You'd recall that there had been quite a number of conversations around how they left this country, with allegations that in fact they were lied to. They went to Russia under the disguise that they were undergoing a security training, but then they found themselves on the front line of the Russia as well as Ukraine war. There are not much family members over here, but we do know that they are going to be processed as soon as they arrived, and then we can only find out once that particular process has been underway in terms of where to from here exactly. But I can tell you that the matter is, of course, still under investigations. We do know that the Hawks are, of course, investigating this particular matter as well. They are part of the team. So, Oli, I guess you're going to have to wait and see and anticipate their arrival here. But this is how the situation is like outside the King International Airport here, the King Shaka International Airport.
Yeah, Phila, just one more question to you before we let you go. Psychologically, I think that can only be assessed by the experts once the men arrive in South Africa. I mean, being in the front lines of a war that you were not even prepared for psychologically, that's one thing. But there are those that are reported to have severe injuries. Do we know the condition of the 11 that are returning? Are they, do they not have any scars that they bear from that war?
So far, Oli, that has not been communicated, but of course, I guess we're going to find out when they get here. But when you look at the psychological impact, apart from the men as well, even their families have been incredibly affected by this. There was that media briefing that they held, not so long ago, where they were incredibly emotional, and they had given an emotional plea to President Cyril Ramaphosa to intervene. Some of them had also been saying that due to the stress, they have been hospitalized as well. Now, these are the family members, but we will only really find out how their condition is physically when they arrive here. So far, what we know is that there's actually one person who is still in Moscow and is still undergoing treatment at this point, as far as the state of all these men is concerned.
Phila Mthembu, thank you very much indeed for the time being. We are going to take you back to Phila Mthembu at King Shaka International Airport as soon as we catch sight of the activity there. All right, well, we are going to stay with the story because when we return, as we await the landing of the flight ferrying these 11 South African men, we are going to speak to the family's spokesperson, Thulani Mahlangu, on how they feel exactly at this critical moment. Remember the cries that these families have been trying to get through to government, and eventually President Cyril Ramaphosa intervening and picking up the phone to talk to his Russian counterpart, Vladimir Putin. Well,